Hola bandidos, bandidas, panchotes, coyotes. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Mel's Magic. This is episode 11 of season 2. We've had a little bit of a hiatus, a little break because I was on travels. And because I wanted to regroup a bit with my messages, and I was just, processing and integrating a few insights and experiences. In any case, Owls and I, as usual, say hello. So, I actually did a whole bunch of readings over the past 2 weeks, and I've spent all day yesterday deciphering them. So, I pull the cards, and sometimes the message is not obvious. It's literally, it takes some decoding. It's also a way for me to actually learn about the cards and becoming an energy reader. And I decided initially I thought, okay, I'm going to rewind and record one message, one episode per card reading from the past few days. But I thought, you know what? I mean, once I pulled the cards for today, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna tabula rasa and start from today, especially because the cards of today are really so fitting. I want to share a bit. I had a bit of a terrible night, completely self induced because I was in the grips of fear. So there was this avalanche of thoughts of, what I need to do, what I haven't done, what I should do, what I have to do. And this very familiar, constricting feeling in my entire body took over to the point where I couldn't sleep. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, had a few chocolates, it's bad self-soothing, and tried to go back to sleep. But it's this constricting feeling starts in the chest. It was hard for me to breathe. My muscles were all tense, shallow breathing. Woke up with a stiff neck and just doom encoded in my body. And the irony is really, it's how it backfires. You think that, okay, I'm going to think about all the things that I need to do that should be done. But what it does, it actually paralyzes you, or me at least. I get paralyzed, I get super stressed, adrenaline, cortisol flowing in my body without actually finding a release. And I go into survival, my body switches into survival mode. I woke up late, still feeling super, super stressed, and then slowly, slowly began my list of tasks, but was nowhere as efficient had I just taken the path of least resistance, as Abraham Hicks always suggests, and had I found a vibration of ease. And it really shook me because I'm like, oh my God, I know this feeling. I know this state of fear so, so well. And I've been so intentional over the past year of working through that and transmuting the fear, because I know from experience that you cannot fight fear through fear, i.e., you cannot solve a problem. I think Einstein said the same. You cannot solve the problem from the same paradigm. You just go in a loop over and over the same thing. You literally have to take a vantage point above, or raise your frequency and look at it from a vantage point above. So if we're talking about fear, guilt, shame, you have to really transmute that at least to anger and higher vibrations. Otherwise, it will just feed on itself. Negative energy feeds on itself. Good energy needs to be nourished. Which brings me back to the point of me reminding myself of the importance of a spiritual practice. And I'm not even saying, a spiritual practice, okay, for example, I do talk to my angels and to a higher power, but I'm talking really this spiritual practice which goes back to mindfulness, body awareness, and grounding myself, breathing, meditating. For me, the walk, at the end, around 12, once I finished my first task, I said, okay, you know what, Melanie, you're so stressed, we're just going to go for a walk. And my brain was like, you don't have time for that. But I said, no, nothing is going to flow until we take a walk. And I was focused on my breathing, went back into my body. It loosened my muscles. And afterwards, I could really almost laugh off my stress because it was self-induced. And how often do we do that to ourselves? It's insane. I mean, it is self-induced insanity. The way, the temptation of fear, because it's such an ingrained neural pathway, I'm talking about myself at least, it's so easy to fall back into. And I mean, it's predictable. The outcome is predictable because the physiology, we've been through that physiology so many times, that state of fear and how this contraction. And I told myself, okay, I do have a choice here. That's why I did go for the walk. I have a choice here. We have tools. We know what to do, how to expand, relax, feel more grounded, feel more spaciousness. We have tools. Compared to before, where I got really stuck in this fear state, and I was just looping around. So it's so important to have a practice that is grounding, a daily practice that really becomes as habitual as toothbrushing, because it's a foundation for our well-being. And these practices and tools can vary for each one of us. What works for person A might not work for person B. That's why the importance of trying things out and really seeing what works for you, what works for me, for my body type, for my personality, for my character, for my lifestyle, and then sticking to it. Consistency is really key. I notice for myself, when I slip up on my daily practice, I'm basically giving more room for past negative behavior or thought patterns to arise. So it takes a conscious, consistent effort to nourish and weed out and visualize and practice a new state of being. And it's interesting because I listened to one of Joe Dispenza's talks today, and how he emphasizes, this groundbreaking. I mean, we're in such times of great transformation possibility, and what neuroscience and epigenetics is discovering is it is groundbreaking. In his words, in Dispenza's words, it's not anymore a time of knowing, but knowing how to, and actually applying these tools and these formulas that are scientifically proven to work. For example, I used one of Joe Dispenza's meditations last year very militantly, like literally every day for 40 minutes. And it neurologically and physiologically and spiritually, mentally got me out of my depression. 100%. That plus surrendering to a higher power. To the point where it made me taking antidepressants redundant. I was over it. I just didn't need it anymore. I was in a different state of being. So the fact that we have access to this kind of information and knowledge, and via YouTube, and that we can really implement that on a personal level, that is incredible. I think we're really in incredible times. If you haven't watched Joe Dispenza's talks, I mean, there's other neuroscientists, but he's one of them that really kind of clicked with me, that there's a scientifically proven formula where you can get your mind and body and heart into coherence and literally visualize a state of being, a future state of being, into your presence by aligning body, mind, and spirit. It's incredible. Please check it out if you haven't done so. In any case, I'm talking about all of this because, yes, fear is just such a widespread disease. No, it causes us disease. It can make us sick mentally, spiritually, bodily wise. So it's really important to nurture tools that foster a more wholesome and healthy state of being, so that on a more spiritual level we can really create a new reality, i.e. bring something new to life and not be defined and stuck by our past stories, traumas, disasters, or what have you. It's really a time to create a new reality, and that needs to be put into practice on a daily basis, I'm telling myself. Bueno, let's go to the cards. As I said, the cards I pulled today were super, super fitting. We start with Major Arcana. This is from the Rider-Waite deck. Death. Now, death is not something to be feared, at least symbolically in the cards. Death as a Major Arcana card means transformation. And I really thought about it today. I felt like, I'm so ready for transformation, but what does this transformation entail? It takes dying to an old version of myself, to old patterns of thought, of thinking, old patterns of behavior. And it takes a kind of death, it takes a kind of letting go. And it's not necessarily as easy as we think, because letting go means letting go of a part of ourselves that we're used to, that's familiar, that maybe doesn't serve us anymore, but at least it feels familiar. So letting go of those aspects of us is a form of mourning. But there is no new life if we do not face and embrace death. So death is an essential part of regeneration, of transformation, of renewal, of rebirth. What do we need to let go in our lives, be it physically? How does your space look like? Do you need to declutter? Do you need to let go of a few things? Do you need to let go of some responsibilities maybe? Do you need to simplify your life to create more space for the new? Do you need to extract yourself from certain habits or situations, or even let go of some friendships that don't serve you anymore? This is a time to really be thorough and take stock of what needs to go, so that new space is created, new energies can come in, and really you can allow your own rebirth. So this is the energy I found myself in. And the clarifying cards are incredible. We have the Star from the Light Seers deck, and look at this beautiful, beautiful image here. This girl, oops, so much sun here in Spain. There's this girl kind of kneeling down, and it looks like an act of prayer or surrender, and she is ready for this transformation. She knows that she's connected to the divine. Here you see this cord going up. She's connected to the divine. She knows what her essential core is, and it's beyond and transcends all of these layers of ego, accumulation of patterns and ideas that no longer serve us. She's ready for transformation. She knows that she's blessed, and she knows that she can tap into this transcendental energy in the quantum field that really regenerates us, that everything is possible in that field if only we come back to the heart space and open ourselves to that possibility. If we practice mind, body, and spirit and heart coherence and alignment, and trust that, again, by letting go of what no longer serves us, we will shine our true light. So the Star is a clarifying card, together with, from the Wild Unknown Animal deck, the Ten of Wands in reverse. So the Ten of Wands upright in the tarot means holding on to burden, guilt, regret, past mistakes. And as our message today is trying to impart, it's time to let go of that burden. So again, time for taking stock. What do I need to let go of? Haven't I carried this baggage around long enough? Isn't it time to really drop it? I know it's scary sometimes if we drop something, because it's uncertainty that fills that void. Initially, we're like, well, we don't know what's going to happen if we drop something. So the tendency is to still hold on to it because it feels comfortable in its familiarity. But what is the price that we're paying by holding on to it? It's, if you want something new to sprout and if you want growth and development, then something has to give. Something that no longer serves you, an old skin, an old way of being needs to go. So I am ready to release this burden. I'm ready to release past heartbreak, past disappointment, past everything, regret, guilt. Basta la basta. Okay? It's time for transformation. And the oracle card I pulled from the Enchanted Oracle deck is Deep Freeze. Now it looks a bit maybe confusing, this lion is frozen outside in the snow, but I saw the meaning as a time for, in French, there's a saying, reculer pour mieux sauter, as if you kind of retrieve so you can jump better. So maybe this is a time for incubation, taking stock, prioritizing, purging what no longer serves us, clearing mental, physical space for new energy, planning, taking stock and planning and prioritizing. What do I really want to focus my energy and time on? What needs to go? I only have so much energy in a day. Let's be in a linear sense, human sense, we only have so many hours. So how do I want to focus my energy and what deserves my time and energy? So now is a time for a temporary deep freeze to take stock and to rejuvenate, to regenerate, to incubate new dreams. And as Joe Dispenza said, we have the capacity to use our brain for creation, meaning visualizing, having a vision, visualizing that dream, that desire, that future you want to bring into your reality, and feeling it in your body, in your emotional space, in your heart space, as if it already happened. And that's the power of now, because that's how we call in the future into our present. And the mind cannot tell the difference between an imagined reality and a present, i.e. 3D reality. If we think about it, if we visualize it, and if we feel it, the brain records it as a given reality, a reality that's already happened. And that's how we literally can create a new future and a new world. So let's use our brain and our wonderful imagination for what it's been made for, to imagine a beautiful life, if that's what you really want. We gotta want it, obviously. How would you really want your life to be? What would you want to manifest? Spend some time to visualize that, feel it, incubate those dreams, and call them from the future into your presence. Hence, I reiterate, a spiritual practice, a routine, some rituals you build into your daily life are of utter importance. Consistency is important. And the tools are all out there on the net. Really, if you open one door, there's so much information. Just find what fits you, what suits your character, and stick to it and see what happens. Vale? Now is a time for great transformation. We're all going through it. And to be honest, there's nothing but hope I see, because we have so much power and so much knowledge at our fingertips. Vale? That's my message for today. I look forward to welcoming you on episode 12 of season 2 soon. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm grateful to anyone who watches. I welcome any comments in the comments box below, and please like and share with anyone you think might be interested. ¿Vale? Saludos desde España y nos vemos pronto. Chao.